Okay, just let me know when he's there. It has been a great Friday here on Three Man Front, live at Crafts on 280. Incredible crowd, Stallions players, head coach A.J. McCarron. Appreciate them having us out. We've already talked to A.J. Michael Hires, former quarterback at Sanford, who's one of the quarterbacks for the Stallions. Mason Brooks played at Ole Miss.
Oh, he was awesome.
Played for the D.C. Defenders.
He's going to be, my prediction, he's going to be the next Scooby Wright in terms of just the guy that fans gravitate towards because his personality is so infectious.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. We've also been following the breaking story out of Tuscaloosa. Charles Bediako's hearing wrapped up earlier this morning, and all indications we might potentially have an answer by late this afternoon. But all indications also, Conrad, based on what I'm seeing from guys that were in the courtroom, it appears that the judge was asking a lot of pointed questions and questioned himself the validity of Bediako's attorneys and what he is requesting. So based on that, reading the tea leaves, you and I both, and we said this before the hearing ever took place this morning, that we doubted based on the fact that the SEC commissioner had put his name on an affidavit yesterday saying that the court should not allow him to play, that would be taken heavily into consideration.
Yeah, it felt like things shifted because, we came on and we've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now. And, all things considered, it was looking like, just the way that all these cases typically go, which is in the favor of the college athlete. And now that seems to have shifted. And like you said, Pat, some of the things that have been coming out from the hearing this morning definitely seem to indicate that they will not be deeming him eligible and he will not be playing for Alabama the rest of the way. But we will wait and see. Hopefully less than 3 hours until we find a decision, and they have until 4 o'clock to submit both sides of the argument there from the hearing, and we will get a result soon after that. And again, 26 hours from now, the Auburn and Alabama game will be kicking off in Neville Arena, or tipping off, excuse me. You'd probably like to know if Bediako is going to be available to go or not if you're Nate Oates.
All right, so here we go. Let's talk a little SEC basketball with our main guy, Blake Lovell from Southeastern 16. Blake normally joins us at noon because of our remote and everything going on in the world. We had to push him back a little bit, but I appreciate you, Blake, joining us as you always do on Friday. Just your feelings on this. So we asked you last week about Bediako, but if he is ruled ineligible, does that change your opinion of this Alabama team one way or another?
Yeah, I do think it, especially like in a game like tomorrow, I feel like you're going to probably look at this a little bit differently because, I kind of equated it to look at what Auburn did to Florida, and Auburn felt like the kind of team that could match up pretty well with someone like Florida, even as well as they've been playing. And then I'm like, look at how Alabama played against Florida. And not necessarily, different situations, there's a lot more to it than that, but I think having a player like Bediako in those kind of games, just imagine, right? If you're an Alabama fan, you're looking back and you're thinking, man, could he have made a significant impact in the Purdue games, the Gonzaga games? Maybe not against Arizona. They're on another level right now. But I think when you're looking forward and you're seeing teams like that rebound so well, which is, Alabama struggled a little bit in that, limiting offensive rebounds. And then you see the two best front courts in the SEC in Florida and Tennessee do some things that really make it tough on you, even with a Charles Bediako. I think that's where you're starting to look ahead and be like, okay, what is Alabama's ceiling? They're still going to be a great offensive team. They're still going to be able to score with anybody. But those are the things I'm looking at defensively, rebounding wise. If they don't have him the rest of the way, those are the kind of matchups you start to circle and say, they may struggle a little bit in those.
So I wanted to ask you, Blake, about going back a couple days to the A&M game with Alabama, and Alabama gets that 3-point victory. And I think that maybe was a game, right, with an example of that wasn't a great matchup for Bediako in terms of how quick the pace of the game was, right? That was a guard-dominated kind of basketball game. And so maybe in those situations for Alabama it's not as big of a loss. But I just wanted to ask your takeaways from that game. Did you see something from Alabama in that game kind of getting back to the winning ways that you think moving forward gives you optimism for them as they close out the regular season? Or were there some things maybe on the defensive side you saw, man, they give up 97 to A&M that give you concern moving forward for the Tide?
Yeah, I think, in a game like that where it's probably first to 100 wins, we kind of expected that. And I think, too, it's how many teams are you going to play in the SEC that are going to go 13 to 31 from three and shoot it as well as A&M does? And so, Alabama makes 16 threes, and that was exactly what we expected. The one thing that, if you're an Alabama fan, you're thinking, all right, what's the biggest takeaway from Florida to Texas A&M? Well, it's much easier to win games when you don't turn the ball over 18 times. And, they've been so good at that this season. That's what was kind of just out of the norm at Florida. I mean, they are basically still easily in the top 10, even after that game at Florida where they turned it over that many times, in terms of like turnover percentage offense, taking care of the ball and those kind of things. So it was good to see them bounce back in that way because A&M, of course, is a team that will press and turn you over as well as anybody. So I thought that was a nice development, a team that came out a little more focused, understanding that was a big key to this game. Like I said, I think Alabama just kind of is what it is defensively right now. Do I think they're going to wind up being a top 50 defensive team in the country? Maybe not. Like, I just think that this is just the way it is with this team. They're fantastic offensively most of the time, and they're going to play some high-scoring games. But I think that really coming out of that game, to me, it was all about just a mental response. I mean, you guys know NATO's challenged them. And this was a huge game when you looked at just kind of the SEC standings and kind of their overall, I think, outlook moving forward, especially knowing you have to go to Auburn tomorrow. So I thought just the mental side of it was much more impressive to me than anything else.
Blake, it's the running joke. It seems like every time we've talked to you over the last few weeks, it's like, all right, this week Kentucky looks done. Okay, this week Kentucky looks like they're back. Where's Kentucky currently on the Blake Lovell meter? Are we up, stock down? Where are we at on the Wildcats?
Yeah, I'm like with Kentucky now, it's kind of what you see is what you get. I think if you're trying to sell me on a team, because, I mean, they've now won 7 of 8, and I'm just thinking, how many other teams can say that right now? And, some of those games have been absolutely dramatic and gone down to the wire, and they've needed a buzzer beater at LSU and a comeback win at Tennessee and so forth. But I'm thinking, hey, that's all that matters, that you find ways to win games. And really, other than, kind of laying the egg last Tuesday at Vanderbilt, which, again, guys, I mean, who have we not seen do that in the SEC? Probably other than Texas A&M. They're the only team that I think you would say hasn't had a bad game overall this season in SEC play. So I think from that perspective, they win the game at Arkansas. They come back, take care of business against the worst team in the SEC in Oklahoma. They figured out some things offensively. They're shooting the ball better. They figured out some things defensively, like they're actually forcing more turnovers and those kind of things. And so I think Kentucky is, probably feeling as good as they felt the entire season right now. And Otega always playing like an SEC Player of the Year candidate at the moment. They got a tough stretch coming up, of course, to Tennessee tomorrow, then they're at Florida next Saturday. But I think the Cats are here to stay. And, again, we talked about the mental aspect of the game. You guys know, think about all the discussion whenever they lost that Missouri game, dropped to 9-6, 0-2 in the SEC, fired Mark Pope, everything, like questioning effort and that kind of stuff. But all they've done since then, other than that Vanderbilt game, is win. And I think that's, kind of shows you that this team kind of banded together, found a chemistry, and here they go.
Blake, I wanted to ask you about the team they're going to be taking on tomorrow. That's the Tennessee Volunteers, and just how dangerous you think this Tennessee team is now, because it seems like they're playing their best basketball. They've won 4 in a row. Last time they lost was that 2-point loss to Kentucky, so they can avenge that tomorrow. But I feel like a lot of it also has to do with Nate Ament, who we all know was a big-time recruit coming out. But, I mean, you just look at what he's done the last handful of games, 28, 22, 19, 29, 23. It seems like he's really coming along and giving a big boost to Tennessee. How valuable is he to them and the rest of their season? How high is their ceiling?
Yeah, you said it. I think he's been the biggest change for them and why they may be the most improved team in the SEC over the past month, because he just looks like, I mean, I'll tell you this, guys, like when we went through this yesterday on our show, I don't remember an SEC Player of the Year race that felt as crowded as it feels right now. When you look at this many guys, I think you could put in the conversation, and I think you would put him in there based on how he's been playing at the moment. And so, with him and Jacoby Gillespie, who I'm not sure why. I think Tennessee fans appreciate Jacoby Gillespie. I hope they do, because he is having just a tremendous season. And you look at his numbers and how they compare to some of the great guards of the past in college basketball, he's right on par with a lot of those guys. And so, different player than like a Zakai Ziegler was last year. And that's why Tennessee has slipped a little bit defensively, but they're still a top 15 defensive team. Leading the way with those two guys is going to take you pretty far. It's really the supporting cast, and whether that's guys, like a Jalen Carey, J.P. Estrella. We've seen those guys step up at various points. Other guys have as well, Dwayne Brown, the freshman, and so forth. I think Tennessee is also, let's not forget, on a historic pace to set for the first time in like 25 years, they're going to hit a number in terms of offensive rebounding percentage that we just haven't seen in decades. And when you're that good in some of those areas, that's going to take you a long way. And so I'll say this one other thing, and it's kind of funny to think about. Tennessee feels pretty dangerous as a team right now, and I think it's even more dangerous to think we're saying that about a team that went 7 minutes without scoring against Auburn and still won the game by 8. And I think that's what kind of it shows you their defense can be good enough sometimes to just will them to victory. So yeah, Tennessee's another team you throw in there right now. They're as hot as it can get.
All right, before we let you go, Blake, I've got to ask you, who would be, according to your bracketology, the highest seeded SEC team if the tournament started on Monday? Would it be Vanderbilt or Florida?
Yeah, it'd be Florida, and I think it's just simply, Vanderbilt, which I know we've had this discussion before about, the non-conference schedule and all this other stuff, but Vanderbilt's resume is still pretty rock solid, all things considered. They had the two kind of disappointing losses at Texas and Arkansas, and then, of course, lose by 4 at home to Florida. That's not going to do anything to you. But I think overall right now, Florida has really started to put together a better body of work overall, which, again, comes with a 24-point win over Tennessee. They won at Vanderbilt. They beat Alabama by 23. And if you look at Florida's losses this season, let's remember this, guys. This is a team that's lost 6 games all year long. They lose 9 at home to Auburn, 2 at Missouri, 4 against UConn, 1 against Duke, 4 against TCU, and 6 against Arizona. Like, this is a team that simply has been right there in every single game they played in this season. That matters in the metrics and the net rankings and all that stuff. And so Florida will be the highest seeded team today. Then I think you'd heard to get in that conversation of teams like Vanderbilt and Tennessee. And even Alabama, I think, would be in fine shape, probably the top 5 seed or so right now. So, yeah, that's kind of where it stands at the top of the group.
That is Blake Lovell from Southeastern 16. You can follow his work there on YouTube, Southeastern 16. They just do an incredible job covering the Southeastern Conference with their instant impact conversation immediately after the games. Well, Blake, should be a fun weekend of SEC action. Got some big ones on the docket. We look forward to catching up with you again next Friday.
Sounds great, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Blake.
That's Blake Lovell from Southeastern 16. He joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. All of our guests join us on that hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. Coming up next on the program, JoJo Tillery, former Tennessee Titan, former Wofford football player.
That's right.
Birmingham Stallion. He joins us next on Three Man Front. It is 1:16. Welcome back to Three Man Front here on Jocks. It's been a great day here at Crafts on 280. The food has been incredible. The fans coming out for the show and for the Stallions has been outstanding. Being able to talk to the head coach, A.J. McCarron. We also talked earlier to Michael Hires, former Sanford QB, now one of the quarterbacks in the quarterback room. Mason Brooks, who'll be on the offensive line, former Ole Miss Rebel, former D.C. defender. And now this guy is a Birmingham Stallions veteran. He is going to be that senior voice on the defensive side of the ball. JoJo Tillery, safety for the Stallions, joins us now on Three Man Front. JoJo, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on? Glad to be here.
Man, listen, you're kind of the old guy, but you're not old. How do you
That's the
feel,
crazy
man?
part. Man, at being 28 and being considered the old guy is insane. It's my 5th year here with the Stallions, and I wouldn't want to play for anybody else, so glad to be here.
So can you kind of walk us through, because, again, you've been here for some time, but what your journey was like to the UFL ultimately? You played some college ball at Wofford, spent some time with the Titans. Now you're here with the Stallions. Kind of how fill in the gaps for us there.
So that gap from the Titans, the year after that, I actually signed to go play in Canada with Calgary Stampeders, but that was COVID year, so that's the year it didn't happen. That actually was the only year from the time I was 4 years old to now. That's the only year I didn't play football in my life.
Wow.
Real, since you're
Yes.
4.
So since I was 4 years old, I've played football every year of my life except 2020. That's the crazy part. 2021, I went on to the spring league just to make sure, put my name still out there, and then that's when we found out that the owner of that and whatever else was in contact with the USFL.
Right.
So of course, since I played in the spring league, my name was still around and got into that. So that's how the USFL came upon, and got selected in the second round of the supplemental draft, and the rest is history. I'm here.
I mean, just think about the history of you being able to win all these championships in these different leagues. It was obviously the USL for a couple years, and then it turned into the UFL, and then here we are with another regime change. Coaches change all the time. You're used to that. You've played football for a long time, but just take us back to those first days here in Birmingham and those championships that you've been able to rack up.
I always think about the very first game. Because going into it, especially training camp, we didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
We didn't know how good we were going to be. We actually thought, surprisingly, that first year, we thought we were going to be terrible. Just because.
Did you really?
Yes, that first year.
Is there any particular reason
Well, I think
why?
people projected y'all to be last.
Very last.
Yeah. Vegas did have them
Yeah.
dead last.
So, I mean, just how practices went, there wasn't a lot of really chemistry going on. It was more so just battles between offense and defense. That's pretty much how it was. It was either defense win the day or offense win the day.
Right.
And it was a lot of individuals kind of sort of before that first game. And then I think what really did it, that's probably my favorite memory ever, but just that very first game against the Generals and that kickoff and just going out and seeing a sold-out stadium.
Yep.
And that was insane. And after that, we realized, oh, okay, we got some talent. We're going to be all right.
Yeah.
And then just after that first game, the rest was history. I think we only ended up losing 2 games that year, but, of course, won an inaugural championship.
Yep.
But it was just amazing. After that first win, I think everybody just got on board and was like, all right, we can do this. So I think that's what it was.
Yeah, so I asked Michael this, Michael Hires, because obviously he played at Sanford, played college ball here, so he's familiar with the area.
Sanford, I never beat them in 4 years.
Didn't mean to strike a nerve there, but you're the veteran guy, right? So he grew up here, but you've been with the Stallions. So when your teammates ask you, man, I'm new to the team, what should I expect from the city, the fans, all that? What are the questions you get? What do you tell your teammates that don't know anything about Birmingham?
I tell them they're the best.
Yeah.
As you can see from today, you
It's
would have thought with all the noise, you thought a game was going on. But it's amazing. They're going to show up, they're going to show out, and we hope to do the same for them during the game day. I just tell them, the first 2 years when we actually lived in the city, just walking around with a Stallion shirt on, it doesn't matter where you're at. Somebody stopped you and said, hey, we love what you're doing for the city. We love football. We appreciate you. So just that Southern hospitality, I guess I should say, we love it, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, you mentioned that. So I guess did you stay at the Sheridan or did you get a place
The first year was the Sheraton. I stayed at the Sheraton the whole first year. And then the second year we ended up, me and my roommate, Tillery Robinson, he was a safety on the team as well. We ended up finding a place. And it was funny. I can't remember his name. His name was Nick. I can't remember his last name. He was the kicker for UAB. But he ended up being on the Houston team, the Houston Gamblers.
Okay.
And, they were staying in Memphis. So we actually rented out his house. And
Did
we
you
stayed,
really?
Yeah, we stayed there.
Wow. Well,
Is that
worked
pretty
out.
common, I guess, within the UFL?
I would think so.
That would make a lot of
it
sense.
makes a lot of sense. I mean, being from Birmingham, living in Birmingham, and then, you have to go live in Memphis for the whole year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it worked out for us. It was cheaper than a lot of places, so It was fine with me, but
That's
yeah,
funny.
Now, I've heard that the training facility in Arlington is pretty awesome.
It is.
That they have got everything that you could need, and they made that commitment there. I mean, we'd love to have you guys here in Birmingham all the time, but I understand the way the economics work, especially in the spring league. Just tell us a little bit about what you guys have at your disposal there in Arlington.
Oh man, since they've built the headquarters, it's where every team has their meetings, and you go for training and everything. It's I ain't gonna say it's NFL because of course it's not NFL, but it's top tier. For the resources that we have. And
well, I mean, you'd be able to give us a good comparison. I mean, you were with the Titans. I mean, you have.
Oh,
been,
listen, the rooms I've been in, the Titans. Of course, I've been. Where do we play? Philly, Chicago. All that, of course, that's high end. It's going to be the top of the line. But the UFL is not that much of a big step down. I mean, of course, you're not going to be as spacious, and there's not as much equipment. But the trainers are there; they're hands on, and pretty much everything that we need is there at our disposal. So.
I'm curious because I know a lot of people ask us this question, and you played at every level, right? So you could probably help us understand this. So the difference between, because everyone tells you the difference between college and the NFL is drastic, right? The speed of the game, all that. Could you maybe break down like what's the difference like going from college to the UFL and the difference between those, and then maybe the difference between the UFL and the NFL? Because I feel like a lot of people don't know like how big of a gap is there? Is it really that big of a jump? And kind of where does the UFL fit in?
Well, I would
there?
say from the NFL to UFL, it's not much of a difference because for one, pretty much everybody in the UFL has played in the NFL. So a lot of us, our goal is, of course, is to get back. So it's pretty much no difference. You're playing with a bunch of NFL guys. That's what it is. The only difference I would say from that is the similarities between college and UFL. A lot of the offenses that we're running is from the college. Like you see a lot of RPO offenses, a lot of quick screens.
So you said
bubbles.
it's more college based
offensive wise,
okay.
yes.
All right.
Now defense is all over the place. It can be college, it can be NFL. Right. But offensively, it's a lot of guys basically who were college OCs. So you see that more instead of a pro-style offense.
Well, I was going to ask you, obviously, one of your former defensive coordinators, John Chavis, spent a long part of his career in the college game. From a defensive schematic standpoint, is that mostly what you saw, or did he kind of change with the times too and develop more of a pro-style defense, so to speak? Because we all know that the offensive now are trending more in what you see on the NFL on Sunday is what you're seeing on Saturday.
No, Chief did a good job of game planning and everything. It was more so college still because it was based on, going against college offenses.
Yeah.
But the type of stuff Chief used to, deal and mix up, man, it was second to none. So, no, it was more so college-based, most definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to ask you, getting away from the UFL for a second, big game coming up on Sunday. You were in Tennessee under Coach Vrabel, correct?
I was, yeah.
So what can you tell us a little bit about – I think we know which side you're probably pulling for on Sunday, but what can you tell us a little bit about Coach Vrabel?
Surprisingly, I don't know who I want to win.
Really?
Like I said, I mean, I'm an NFC guy. I like the NFC. I'm a Falcons fan.
Okay, fair. Well, you're an Atlanta guy. Yeah,
unfortunately. But I like the Seahawks team, the team that they put together. They got a lot of good guys over there, especially defense. I love their defense. But like you said, like Vrabel is a player's coach. That's the definition of a player's coach. Like everybody loves him. He's hands-on when it comes to anything. Like I remember the first day meeting him, I was like, really, it's Mike Vrabel. But he played, so he knows what to expect. He knows what you're going through. Everything.
Oh yeah. Which
is why he won, Coach of the Year this year. But I'm happy for him. Like I said, he's very hands-on. Like I know for a fact those guys are gonna be ready. The Patriots are going to bring it. It's going to be a good game. I don't know who I want to win, but I know Vrabel and those Patriots are going to bring it for sure.
I've got a weird question for you. Do DBs use the jugs machine a lot?
I wouldn't say a lot. I know last year we did.
Okay.
That's an interesting question.
We a lot of receivers, they don't really run into it. They more so stand, and they're positioned already. I know a lot of stuff that we did last year as far as DBs because everything we're doing is going downhill for the ball a lot of times. So we did that. We incorporated, footwork drills into ball drills with the jug machine. So we actually used the jugs at least once or twice a week, every week last year.
Okay. I've always wondered that. I mean, you hear all that about what's happening on the wide receivers and the tight ends and all that, but I mean, you guys got to get opportunities to catch the ball too.
Yeah, I hate when they say, that's why they play DB because
Can't catch the ball.
And I hate it because I feel like I got the best hands in the world. That's just me though. But no, I feel like there is no ball I can't catch. But the jugs definitely help. Especially with the trajectory of the ball and how everything happens. So no, we definitely use them for sure.
So what's it like when because all right, we saw the other day, right? Like y'all signed John Ross, like former top 10 pick with the Bengals, all that. He's going to come be a part of the Stallions. Like what's that with you? Because obviously you're not enemies because you're on the same team, right? But you got to go against each other. You're trying to compete, make each other better. What's that relationship like when guys like that come into the room, like at the wide receiver spot? Are you buddy with them, like trying to be a good teammate, or is it competition, like you're my enemy from day one?
I mean, it's both. Especially even when we're on the practice field, we still got to consider, hey, this is your teammate at the end of the day. So you can't go 100% and go kill him, of course. But for one, I'm glad I'm out of corner because I'm not trying to go run deep with that man either.
Well, that's my thing too. I'm like, some guys are like, hey, this is a top 10 pick in the draft. I wanna go make my moment here a little bit.
I mean, of course, whether people realize it or not, this roster that we have now, it's not finalized.
Yeah.
Somebody has to get cut. That's just the reality of it. So, I mean, you want to go out there and you want to showcase your talents, but you also want to be smart in it. Like, you don't want to necessarily hurt somebody on purpose just to make your roster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's definitely competition, and, I mean, that's the reality of it. Somebody has to get cut, at least 10 people. I think it's like 64 on the roster now. I think they got to cut it down. So, but that's the reality of it.
It's a business.
It's exactly what it is.
That is JoJo Tillery, safety for the Birmingham Stallions. He will be the veteran voice on that side of the ball, probably in the whole locker room. Should be a lot of fun. JoJo, great to see you, man.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me.
Looking forward to opening day. We will continue on. 30 more minutes to go in the program. This is Jock's three-man front. We're back for the last 30 minutes of the week here on Three Man Front, and the weather could not have cooperated any better. It's just an absolutely gorgeous Friday.
Fantastic.
It's going to be a great time this weekend. We've got the Iron Bowl of basketball tomorrow at 3 o'clock. You can hear right here on Jocks. We've got the Super Bowl coverage all day long here on Jocks. So we've got you covered all weekend long. Should be a great weekend of sports. We are still waiting final word on Bediako. His hearing ended earlier this morning. All indications are that the judge may make a ruling late this afternoon. So if it breaks in the next 30 minutes, we will obviously share that information with you, but we'll wait and see if Bediako is on that team bus. It is of note. Do you got some news?
Well, this was an interesting note. This is something that Nate Oates said 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
He says Alabama will 100% keep Bediako on scholarship so he can finish school even if he is not eligible to continue playing.
Also, the other thing that Nate Oates said moments ago is that they fully anticipate that Bediako will be playing in the game tomorrow.
Well, as he said he thinks that they will do the right thing and let him be eligible to play.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see.
He probably hopes that Stephen Pearl's the judge after his comments yesterday of how he felt so bad for Charles Bediako. He's probably, can we move this to a court in Auburn? Might work out for us.
Right now we've got beautiful weather, but and spring storms are going to be right around the corner. And Abide Roofing is able to help you now. And the reason I say now is because now's the time that you need to let Travis Lloyd and the fantastic team there at Abide Roofing get on your roof and give you a free assessment to make sure that everything is cool. I'm talking about your shingles are not loose, or you might have some leaking that you're unaware of around your chimney. Whatever the case may be, Travis Lloyd and the fantastic team, local team at Abide Roofing is ready to help you. They're the insurance claim masters, so if you do have a problem on your roof like I did, they're going to deal with your insurance company immediately. I didn't have to deal with it. They were a problem. At Abide Roofing, customers always come first. From your first call to the final inspection, Travis Lloyd and the fine folks are ready to help you. 205-577-7338, or you can visit them at abideroof.com. So we've been following the Charles Bediako case. We've got basketball coming up this weekend. We've got the Super Bowl on Sunday. And I tell you what we're going to do. Heather from the Stallions was so nice. She has given me the capability of giving away, let me make sure I get this right. This is a 4-pack to the first game.
Okay, 4 tickets.
It's a family pack. 4 tickets to the Birmingham Stallions. That's the first game, which is coming up on April the 18th. That's the first home game. So the Stallions are going to be on the road the first 3 weeks of the season. And then on April 18th, they will play the Orlando franchise here in Birmingham. So this is what we're going to do. The third caller at 1-800-239-WJOX, 1-800-239-WJOX. The third caller, you don't have to answer a trivia question. You don't have to do anything like Conrad has to do sometimes at
Just
Social
give
Taco.
Molly your information and you'll get the tickets.
Yep, she's going to need your information, and that's all we're going to do. We're going to give you. So the third caller right now is going to get a family 4-pack to the first game at Protective Stadium. A.J. McCarron era at home begins on April 18th. So 1-800-239-WJOX. That is the phone number. The third call. You know what? I'm feeling generous. Heather just texted me, and she said, you know what? Well, I'll give you another 4-pack.
Wow.
So this
2 4-packs.
this is what we're going to do. The third and fourth callers. The third and fourth callers to Molly at 1-800-239-WJOX. You're going to get those family 4-packs. The third and fourth callers. So we're going to give away 2 pair of 4-packs to the very first game on April 18th.
And you're going to want to be at that game because just talking to people around here, the buzz around that game, supporting the Stallions, we thought they might be gone. They're staying here. A.J. McCarron as the head coach. It is going to be jam-packed, and it is going to be a fantastic atmosphere at Protective.
Yeah, it's going to be great. That is on April the 18th. So the third and fourth callers, Molly will get the information from you, how we can get in touch with you, and that's all we got to do is be the third and fourth callers. And you get those family 4-packs. We're going to give away 2 pair as the Stallions 2026 with A.J. McCarron as the head coach.
Hey, you got no reason to go. You got free tickets. No reason not to go.
Oh, there you go. Molly says that we have We've made it, right, Molly?
Yes,
Did
the phone lines were blowing up, but the third and the fourth caller, I was able to get a hold of them. So congratulations to Wes and Steven.
Okay.
Nice.
Very nice. Wes and Steven, winners of the family 4-packs for the first game against Orlando. As
AJ gets to face off against his former head coach.
Anthony Becht.
Yes.
So, yeah, just give Molly your, obviously, email address and a way that we can get in touch with you.
Yep, phone number, email, you're good to go.
Yep, so Molly will get that information. So we appreciate everyone listening, and it's been a great day here at Crafts on 280. And if you've not been to Crafts before, I highly recommend.
That's some of the best chicken I've ever had in my life.
It is unbelievable.
So
and the potato wedges, and I know that you've also enjoyed. What was your libation that you had?
It was the attitude adjustment, I believe is what it was called. It was nice.
Okay.
I've already had some people making fun of me on the text line for ordering a frozen drink, but you know what? It was good, so I don't care. It was good. I enjoyed it. Be a man. Drink a frozen drink sometimes. It's good.
You know, there's one thing that we still have left to do before we close the week out.
I thought we had forgotten about that, Pat.
No, he has texted me.
He remembered.
Landrum remembered.
That's
Now, he did
unfortunate.
not send me the video that he said that he was going to send me.
Well, I thought he was going to do one of those letters like he did last year when he was unavailable for a week.
No, he has sent me in the picks against the spread and the side for the Super Bowl. And also, we're doing one prop bet. And the one prop bet is the length of the national anthem. So we will pick that coming up before we get out of here for the weekend.
I'm nervous now.
You nervous?
Yeah, I am nervous. There's a lot. We have been building towards this since, August 30th? And here we are in February. This is 6 months of my life I poured into this, Pat. I can't lose now.
Well, make sure you pick right.
Oh, Landrum's going to be insufferable if he wins.
So there's going to be 3 picks. As I mentioned, spread, side, and, of course,
National anthem.
Mm-hmm. Did you go back and watch old national anthems?
No, I didn't because I'll be completely honest with you, Pat, and I misplayed this. I was very confident that Landrum was not ever going to send in those picks.
So you just didn't even pay attention?
No, because I was prepared to go in there and just pick who I thought was going to win against the spread and call it a day, but now Landrum's actually trying to make this a competition or something. Because he's
actually trying to win.
Yeah, he's trying to win. Huh. Hopefully that altitude's gotten to him, scrambled his brain a little bit. His picks aren't as good.
So the Olympic ceremonies, the official ceremonies, will be tonight from Italy.
You've been watching some Olympics coverage already, though.
I have. I watched a little bit of American curling yesterday morning before I came into work. Last night, I think it was the U.S. women's hockey team.
Yep, that's what you were showing me while I was not watching.
Yeah, smacking. Who were they playing? I forgot who they were playing.
Some other country.
Yeah, they were beating somebody pretty bad. And then early this morning, you had the mixed pairs figure skating. We had a really good showing there.
Good.
I'm just updating
no, I
you
appreciate
because
you
you're not
giving
watching.
me correct. I appreciate the updates because I'm not going to watch it. So this is really helping me out.
Yeah, so you're not watching. But the reason I bring all this up is because to watch Lindsey Vonn on her training runs,
oh my gosh,
with
incredible.
no ACL is pretty incredible.
Well, and it's when if you go and watch the videos that are on Twitter, right? Because or any social media, but she's doing like, and it's if you watch skiing, you know what it is. But like the way that she like skips across the snow, it's not just flat-footed, right? She's doing these little jumps and things that she's got to land with no ACL. I don't even know how that's possible. Like, how does your knee not buckle? It's incredible.
Yeah, we'll have to have a orthopedist
She's built different.
Explain that to us because it's very impressive to know.
I partially tore my meniscus one time. That's the worst knee injury I've ever had. There's no way I would have been skiing, and that was with a partially torn meniscus, not a fully torn off-the-bone ACL. She's incredible.
She is.
That's an American right there.
All right, when we come back on Three Man Front, we'll wrap up the week, and we'll also do Bet It or Forget It one final time for the 2025-26 season. It'll be the Super Bowl picks. We'll do that next on Three Man Front. 1:45 as we're wrapping things up on the week. It's been just an incredible week. We appreciate everybody stopping by and seeing us not only on Tuesdays at Social Taco, but the incredible crowd today here at Crafts on 280 right here in Mountain Brook as the Stallions were here and A.J. McCarron and the players. Just it was a fantastic afternoon. Appreciate everybody stopping by.
Absolutely. Well, we want to remind you that while it might be warm out, it is still flu season here, and you want to make your home healthier with Trane's Clean Effects Home Air Cleaner. It removes up to 99.9% of airborne particles, including those causing virus. It's also 100 times more effective than standard air filters and 8 times more effective than those HEPA room filters as well. So go find a dealer online near you today at Trane.com.
Okay, Molly, if we can cue the music up for one final time in the 2025-26 season, let's do Bet It or Forget It. All right, so here's the situation. My parents went away on a week's vacation. No, I'm sorry, I was just breaking out some Will Smith. Do you know that song?
Are we going Fresh Prince? I don't know.
Orlando knows what I'm talking about. Anyway.
Pat, you're too in touch with pop culture. It went over our heads.
All right, here we go. We're tied at the top. Conrad, Landrum, tied.
For now.
Molly is mathematically out of the competition, but for the purposes of this, she will be competing in these final 3 picks. So since we're tied, before Landrum went off on his Colorado ski vacation, we had a meeting in the office, and we have determined that we're going to have 3 picks here to wrap things up in the tiebreaker.
Because we don't want to tie.
Hopefully.
If avoidable, we don't want to tie.
Yep. So Super Bowl. The Seattle Seahawks are a 5.5-point favorite over the New England Patriots.
Ooh, I get 5.5? Sweet.
5.5 points. So we're going to start with you, Conrad. You gonna bet it or forget it?
Whoa. I feel like with Landrum not being here, I should get to react to all of his picks.
No. No, you'll go first, then he'll go first the next pick, and then you'll go first the last pick.
All right, so we're doing the spread first, correct?
Correct, 5.5.
I feel really good about this one. I know everyone's on the Seahawks. I feel similarly to this one that I did about Miami going into the national championship. You thought that Indiana was the better team, but you also felt like with Miami, if they were going to have a chance, and if it came down to it, if Carson Beck had to win them the game, that he was going to find a way to choke it away and throw an interception, and that's exactly what he did. I can't escape that same feeling with Sam Darnold. So if I'm getting 5.5, I think the Patriots can easily keep it within that number. I think the Patriots actually win outright, but I'll take Patriots plus the 5.5.
How about you, Molly?
See, I'm with Conrad for a different reason. I like the Patriots 5.5, but I still like the Seahawks to win. I'm thinking they're winning by like a field goal, maybe 4 points.
So you're taking the Pats too?
Yes, but I still like the Seahawks to win.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. All right, well, according to the picks that Landrum Roberts sent me earlier this morning, it's a clean sweep. He likes the Patriots.
Okay.
So Landrum likes the Patriots in the point. So all 3 of you like the Patriots.
I also definitely thought he was going to go Seahawks, so okay.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the over-under, which is 45.5. Now, Landrum will go first here with his pick. He is taking the under of 45.5. Molly, what do you say? You going to bet it or forget it?
I mean, I can't have a final bet it or forget it if I don't take the under. I'm taking the under.
Okay, good pick. All right, so you're going with Landrum with the under 45.5. All right, so here's the situation.
I know.
You picked the same thing in the first pick, so here we are on the second one.
Here's my concern. This was the one I was worried about. I felt good about my Pats pick. I feel good about my national anthem pick. You know what? I'm going to play to win. I'm not going to play smart, Pat. I'm going to play to win. I'm going to take the over of 45.5. You're telling me all I've got to get is a 27-21 type of final score? I think we can get that. I'm going to take the over. It may come back to bite me, but I'm taking the over.
Over for Conrad. All right. Now the third and final, bet it or forget it for the year. We're going to do a Super Bowl prop.
Yep.
And the Super Bowl prop is going to be the length of the national anthem. Currently, it's at 120 seconds.
Oh, we've lost 2 seconds.
So it's 120 seconds. For you math majors out there, that's 2 minutes.
You want to know why that is? Because Chris Stapleton 2 years ago, his was 2 minutes and 1 second.
Uh-huh. So it's 120 seconds. Now, Conrad gets to go first here. Are you going to take the over of 120 seconds or the under 120 seconds for the national anthem?
I'm not overthinking this. Over the history of the Super Bowl, the average national anthem time is 1 minute and 43 seconds. Over roughly the last decade, it's 1 minute and 56 seconds. We're going under 2 minutes, Pat. I feel so good about that pick. We're going under, and maybe we even get like a minute 45. Who knows? So I'm going under 2 minutes.
Okay. Molly, you going to bet it or forget it?
I don't know too much about Charlie Puth, but I'm going to bet it. I'll say he'll go over.
Molly goes over. All right, so it comes down to this.
What did Landon pick?
According to the text message from the state of Colorado, like Conrad, he's taking the under.
Wow, so it's going to come down to the total of the Super Bowl is what's going to determine bet it or forget it.
That is correct.
I'm glad I didn't take the under then, because otherwise this wouldn't be very fun. We'd all be taking the same picks.
So that's the big one, folks, to pay attention to. It is the over-under of 45.5. Landrum took the under. Conrad took the over. Molly took the under. All three of them took the points in New England. And the national anthem, Molly took the over of 120 seconds. Conrad and Landrum took the under of 120 seconds.
46 points to glory. That's all we need. 46 points.
So either you're going to, well, you could either win by 2 or he wins by 2.
Yeah.
Right?
So we'll see. It'll be fun to watch how it plays out on Sunday. I'm so sad he wasn't here.
I'm impressed that you went back and you looked at old tape and gave us the average of the national anthems.
Well, I mean, I feel because again we talked about it, right? Of you can go back and find like maybe Charlie Puth had done an NBA All-Star Game one or something like that. You go find what he had done in the past, but I like to stick with the averages. I like to play the numbers, and the numbers are telling me to go under. So we're gonna be smart here. Not gonna overthink it.
So John Rothstein, who covers college basketball for
My
CBS
cousin Benny.
Sports. Yep. He just tweeted out a few moments ago that Nate Oates tells him that Alabama's LeBaron Philon will be a game-time decision against Auburn tomorrow. He hurt his thigh in the game the other night. But Taylor Bowen is expected to play. So you got Philon, that's averaging around 21 points a game. He's questionable.
Yeah.
But Taylor Bowen, who's averaging 7.7 points per game, is likely to play.
Well, how about this quote from Nate Oates speaking with the media this afternoon ahead of the IBOB tomorrow? He was asked his thoughts on Greg Sankey signing the affidavit last night in favor of the NCAA getting their ruling against Charles Bediako. Quote from Nate Oates: "I'm really disappointed that Charles is where the focus is because there's plenty of other players being made eligible."
He is right there.
And that goes back to what we shared with you earlier, right? He is expecting Charles Bediako to be available tomorrow because he expects them to do the right thing in the court ruling.
Well, as Bediako's attorneys pointed out, there are 38 players around college basketball, including dozens in the Southeastern Conference, including one for the Auburn Tigers that technically played professional basketball overseas.
Yep.
In the NCAA, they've ruled that they are eligible. G League players, obviously, not so much. Foreign players, yeah, they can play right now. So, very interesting to say the very least. I know Paul Feinbaum will have much more to come in the coming minutes as this case down in Tuscaloosa continues to percolate. The attorneys were supposed to turn some orders in, right, by 4 o'clock today?
Yes, both sides are supposed to turn in their final results at 4 p.m., and then a ruling will come shortly after that, we believe. And there is a potential, right, it could come in before 4 o'clock, but certainly with the way things are going, not a lot of news coming out. Hopefully in the next 2.5 hours, we will have a final ruling on Charles Bediako.
If you missed any of our interviews today, you can always download the Three Man Front podcast. I want to thank everyone at Crafts on 280 for their hospitality. Heather and the Birmingham Stallions, A.J. McCarron, all the players that were able to stop by and say hello to us. It's been an incredible remote. We appreciate everybody tuning us in all week long. Monday will be a very special Reaction Monday because we'll have the reaction of Charles Bediako's case, the iBob, the Super Bowl.
And me dancing on the grave of Landrum Roberts.
Yeah, because you potentially could be the winner of Bet It or Forget It. We'll have a special ceremony because Molly won last year's.
That's right.
So
She's been a gracious winner.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
She's been
Molly.
fantastic.
You've been great.
For all of us here at Three Man Front, we hope you have a great weekend. Keep it tuned right here to Jocks. We got the iBob tomorrow at 3. Super Bowl coverage all day long here on Jocks. For Molly, Conrad, Landrum, off on assignment, I'm Pat Smith. Have a great weekend, everyone.
God is good.